Got some of your
Love
favorite
that
colors here, dude.
No, those are some bad colors.
What's up, stay with us? You guys doing a live stream?
We got Dave. Dave, what are you doing right now? Let's see what you can.
Yeah, don't be angry.
And I still didn't wake up.
Good times.
We have like a few different like sets. I don't know if there's any 71.
What up, Mike?
Chase Utley's the Hall of Famer.
Baseball collector.
Yeah, something like that.
He is the baseball collector.
That's the run I've been on, and I'm getting closer and closer.
Oh, we got Scoops in there. People that are going to watch this and aren't subscribed, get his autographs on baseball.
Your Aqua Wave, Jesse Winker, off center, left to right.
Hold up. Hold a winker.
That makes it a winker.
What a kick in the winker.
JD Martinez. As you can see, this line wraps all the way around. So it's basically.
Forward, Eastern Connecticut Sports Cards, Hitman 23.
You're right there. I think you were separate. Right at the end, a card that I've wanted to add to the collection for years and years that's not part of the Phillies PC. So, what's going on, everyone? MikeO back with my 2024 National Sports Collectors Convention recap. The National has come and gone on to 2025, but we'll always remember 2024. Once again, a fantastic National, so much fun, really awesome, a great event, and memories were made as always. No National is perfect. There's more and more challenges as the years go on, as the hobby continues to increase in popularity, as more and more people continue to check out the National, attend the National. I mean, we'll see what the future holds, but I'm sure over 100,000 people attended this convention in Cleveland. Again, there have always been issues. Chicago, the air conditioning. Atlantic City, the surrounding area. Cleveland, the traffic. Sure, there's some bathroom issues, but the bathroom really it looked worse than it was. You could move through those lines pretty quickly. And yeah, it was crowded at times in areas, but there were times where it wasn't bad. I would say Wednesday was the worst for all that. That was certainly the worst for parking and traffic as well, just because everyone was condensed into that 4-hour window. Everyone left at 8 o'clock, so there was a lot of traffic. If you were there before and you knew how to kind of get out the other end, you didn't deal with it quite as much. But listen, those are the few minor negatives. None of that takes away from the time you had hanging out with the friends from the hobby, had the Airbnb, hanging out with Wesker Griff, Dr. Exclusive, Big Scott 35, Eastern Connecticut Sports Cards, Dave's Midlife Card Crisis, Hitman 23. That was awesome hanging out with them. We had a fantastic Airbnb, so shout out to Mike, Eastern Connecticut, for getting that thing squared away about a year ago. Incredibly roomy for 7 people, and we probably could have fit more, to be honest. The Thursday night get-together with Baseball Collector, epic event, tons and tons of people. It was awesome to see as many as I could. Those events, just like the National, have gotten so big. I mean, back the last time it was Cleveland, our get-together was probably like 15, 20 people. And then it just exponentially kept growing and growing. And this year, well over 200. I don't even know the exact number, but it was impossible to even say hello to everyone. It was impossible to have more than a very quick conversation with the majority of people. Not that you didn't want to. It was just logistically in those hours was not feasible. So it's definitely amazing to see so many people you recognize, so many people you meet for the first time. So to all those I talked to, it was great to do so. Friday night, the Filmington get-together, little smaller group, but really nice place, a little further away from the center. So, and there's so much going on too. That's the thing you have to realize about these, about the National. You have trade nights going every night. There was supposed to be a secondary show. That was so big and so overrun that actually got shut down during the first night and was closed down for the rest of the show. The trade nights were huge. This is the first year in years I didn't attend a single one of them. People are at the show all day and they have things to take care of at night. They have different groups to do. And there were a whole bunch of dinners and other meetups and events and exclusive parties and all kinds of stuff going on. So you can only do a fraction of it. But it was great to have a lot of more lengthy conversations at the Phil Silverjackify Me event. That was one of the positives about that, for sure. And just to get to see a different side of Cleveland, somewhere you hadn't been as much. Really cool view from the rooftop at the 9. So that was cool as well. Of course, the show every day. Wednesday, getting your feet wet, getting to kind of see the layout and do a little shopping. I picked up a few things Wednesday, but didn't go crazy with that. I did take care of some business Wednesday, so shout out to the guys who rode over with me for helping me, because we had a hell of a walk and was kind of able to get that done and out of the way and then concentrate on the show afterwards. Thursday, another great show, very, very crowded. I think Thursday was probably the most crowded day overall. There were pockets that weren't bad. You had certain areas where people would have the display cases covered up with their stuff they were trying to trade and such, but I didn't feel completely overwhelmed in the show itself, because if it did get a little crowded in one area, you just moved on. But I was able, between Wednesday and Thursday, to actually finish walking the entire show, which it usually takes me 3 days. So I was actually happy about that as well, because then you can kind of bounce around a little more after that. And you got ideas. I was taking notes the entire time. I used my phone. I had a pad of paper with me as well, but just open the notepad in the iPhone, and I would mark out, I would keep track of everything I purchased. And then I would have a separate section where I'd put notes with the aisle or booth number and cards I was looking at. And I checked on them the last few days, and I saw a number of the cards that I was thinking about that did get moved. There was nothing that ended up getting sold that I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I got it. If I ran into something very, very rare that was affordable, I just made the deal then. And I was able to make deals on every purchase. Every single thing, even if it was something as low as maybe like 10% off. And there were other things I was able to do up substantially cheaper, which was great. The dealers, for the most part, were really good. You know, there's a couple cranky guys here and there, but for the most part, The dealers were fantastic to work with, really fair and such. Running into people at the show, that was continuous as well, and that was awesome. I always love seeing people at the show. You definitely want to take some time for yourself because you want to see what you can see and take care of what you want to take care of, but you also want to run into people and say hello. And there's some people I saw at the show that I wasn't able to see outside of the show, and sometimes you run into the same people a bunch of times, and then some of the housemates and friends, we were able to help each other out. Like, hey, I see this, boom, send a message when the Wi-Fi worked. The Wi-Fi worked better and better as the week went on. Thursday was really tough. Friday had some spottiness as well. Sunday, it was virtually perfect. Friday was a good day at the show as well. Saturday, it definitely got substantially slower midway through Saturday, which is good and bad because some of your friends are leaving and going home, so you can't see them as much and you don't get to pal around. But at the same time, the show thins out a little bit and you're able to see more, pick up on some stuff you missed. And guys are making deals the entire time. They're having new inventory, so it's definitely worth walking the show multiple times. You can see everything and not see everything. Guys are just constantly putting out more and more stuff. So it was really cool to have an opportunity to continue doing that. And Sunday, honestly, probably my favorite day. I said it in my Day 5 recap. There's an aspect of it that you know it's ending, so that's like, oh, the show's almost over, and you know you're going to have to travel that day. And of course, a lot of the people have gone, but I mean, seeing the show, access to everything, 0 lines for bathrooms on Sunday, 0 lines for food. I didn't buy food at the show anyway, but you were able to see the tables. You were able to maybe do a little longer negotiation with certain people as well. Some guys, I wouldn't say desperate, but guys were willing to move stuff, bulk stuff that they didn't want to pack up, or just they were kind of happy with where they are. And they're like, listen, if this isn't a crazy thing that I feel like I have to keep, they were very willing to make deals just to kind of move some stuff out, just to kind of pad the totals a little bit. So I found Sunday to be incredible to just see things. I thought they did a good job with the VIP lounge as well this year. It was crowded and there were a lot of people, but it was spacious. You never went down there and felt like overcrowded. You were able to walk and maneuver your way around and such. They had tons of tables, so much better than previous years for sure. And even though there was some stuff going on, it wasn't too crazy loud. And there were additional bathrooms and places for food and such down there as well. But picked up some cool stuff, had a great time. I always do. Every year you go, the National feels bigger. It feels like there's more people there. It feels more crowded. There's obviously more companies and stuff, tons of stuff to see. But, you're able to, you get used to it. Now I get to know more and more dealers, so you have short little conversations with dealers. Some of the corporate people over time you get to know and you talking to them. And a lot of it's people you only see once a year, maybe twice a year at different shows. So that's like a whole nother aspect that makes it great. Looking at the cards is awesome. Picking up cards for your collection is awesome. But the relationships you forge makes it really awesome. It makes it great. It's easy to be repetitive when describing this stuff, but that's just kind of the way it is. It's just so much fun. And I picked up a good deal of stuff. Didn't go too completely crazy, but picked up some fun stuff for the collection and some stuff that I will be moving as well. So I had a great time. I hope you guys did too. Chicago 2025. Hopefully, if you guys made it, you can make it back. If you didn't, hopefully you can get out to Chicago for the first time in a few years or maybe the first time ever. Chicago's a fun one as well. A lot of people say it's their favorite. I definitely like aspects of it. I like if you get a hotel close and you can walk, that's definitely great. I do like being able to drive, which Chicago, I could drive, but it's not ideal. That's maybe a once every couple year type of drive, I would say. I'm thinking flying next year and maybe the following year trying to drive. We'll see. That's all in the future. If I got my choice, I would definitely have the National continue to rotate around. From what I've heard, Chicago is locked in the next 2 years. It's expected to be the third year. I don't think it's been officially announced, but that's what it's going to be. Then the year after that, I believe they're looking for a new venue. So we'll see what the National has in store for us. But as always, it's great. I'm just going to show off a couple of the standout cards that I was able to pick up at this show. All right, here's a look at some of what I picked up at the show. I do actually have some boxes of Topps Heritage and some hobby boxes of Topps that I picked up, but here are kind of the stacks of what I got. Got some stacks of PSA slabs, the tag customs, which I think were great, some CGC and such there. We got stacks of gifts. We got a bunch of PSA slabs under some of the highlights, stacks of memorabilia cards, and then I've got this 1,200 or so count box of vintage cards, so I'll be going through that. But a ton of pickups at the show. Of course, I got the National Convention packs. Those will be going up on the eBay store shortly. That will be the only thing that will salvage me from a case of Heritage, but at least we had a good time ripping that with some of the guys in the house. And listen, when I go to a show, I pick up a little bit of everything. I'll pick up some cheap stuff. You got the free CGC slab and the promo CGC slab. I showed off a lot of this in my daily recaps, just some vintage stuff. But I'm going to mostly focus on the highlights. There we go, the Jimmy Wilson. So I did a few bundles on the last day. So I was able to bundle some vintage pickups, a couple of Roy Campanellas, Hank Aaron's, Willie Mays, and Koufax. Those I didn't show off on the last day. The tag customs, listen, tag has been kind of, I don't know, they've been a topic of conversation for the last couple of years. This is what they've done the best, making the custom cards and encapsulating them. I know a lot of people got these done. I got some done for some family, so that was pretty cool. Like, I legitimately think that was a standout thing that happened at the show. So I think they did a great job with that. We got the Power Rangers exclusive from Heritage Auction and Leaf. I know these were a hit too. The customs done by Big Smooth. You got the Japanese cards from Robert. Shout out to Robert Prestige Collectibles. Great member of both the community and a dealer at the show. Just stacks of sweet cards. I mean, you can go through boxes. You could literally spend hours going through boxes or just display cases. I went through boxes a little bit. I wanted to do a little more Sunday and just didn't get to it, but able to pick up a lot of cool stuff. There's a Chuck Klein bat card. Got another Darren Dalton. Stacks of stuff from members of the community that I still have to. I went through them at the Airbnb, but I still have to go through those again coming up here. Get some of that stuff in sheets. Last day, bought this one in the parking lot. So father and son pulled up next to me. I went out to the car like 3 times on the last day. I had to go grab some stuff that I ended up dropping off to ComC and dropping off some hobby boxes I bought. And this guy opened his door kind of into my rental, but very lightly. Either way, everything was fine, and we started talking. And him and his son are like back into the hobby in the last couple of years, and they're really into the new stuff, and they're mostly into football and basketball. So I guess they run into some vintage stuff or some baseball once in a while, so they were just trying to sell it. So picked this up at a really good price. Another last day bundle purchase were some 51 Bowman 1.5s. Really nice 1.5s. Nelly Fox, Monte Irvin, Roy Campanella. I mean, look at that card. The Campanella is going to stay in the collection. The others I'll probably move. And like, I'll take a 1.5 that looks like that. That's why it's a 1.5, because it was in an album at some point, and it's got the tape residue. But I mean, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous looking. Duke Snyder. And I already have the Ted Williams. The Ted Williams, they kept talking up. I was like, the Ted Williams, the color and such is nice, but the centering kind of drives me a little crazy. These were all pickups earlier in the week. The SGC slabs with the vintage stuff. I'm always thrilled to pick up SGC. But the highlights, I would say the top highlights, I like picking up some of this oddball stuff too. Just things you wouldn't otherwise find. Catico game by Mike Schmidt, of Mike Schmidt. Let's see. Yeah, let's go here. All right, so I picked up this Art Fletcher 1922 exhibits. I mean, these are always really cool. Get a player you didn't have in the collection. Not a huge name or anything, but you get used to those later year exhibits and not, say, the 1922. So that's really cool. Stan Lapata, who was one of my dad's favorites growing up. That's the 1958 Hires Root Beer test set. No tab in a 3. Nice image on that. Couple raw ones that I picked up the last day. These will be going to SGC as soon as I have an order ready to go. 1909 Colgan's Proof and the Bondbred Del Ennis. 2 cool ones that I'm hoping to get slabbed up. Picked this one up earlier in the show. The 47 Sports Exchange Del Ennis in a VG3. So really happy to grab that one. Definitely a tough set to grab. One did sell at a good price on eBay a couple months ago, and I know the guy who got it, so he did well for himself. This one got from Elite Hunters. Was able to work out a deal. It was his buddies at his table. Definitely happy I ended up grabbing it. 1921-22 W575 Fred Williams. He's Cy Williams. It's an authentic autograph. Cy Williams, really good player for the Phillies. Had played for the Cubs and the Phillies. Had 250 career home runs, just over 1,000 RBIs. Led the league, was home run king 4 times. Once with the Cubs and 3 times with the Phillies. And he's one of those guys that was bounced early on in his career, part of the dead ball era, and then things opened up. So he led the league with as few as 12 home runs, and then led the league with as many as, I think, 42 or so home runs. So he was a really good player. He was on some very bad Phillies teams, though. So that's awesome to have an on-card autograph. Not something you're going to see very often. And we showed this one off. I had said in my video with expectations for the show, been looking for years for a Hank Aaron and a 53 man. I looked at a few manos. There were actually few pretty good deals, but I didn't want to commit to that cash early. And I kind of knew they would sell, and I did check them out the last day, and they did indeed sell. Did work out a deal for this one literally in the closing moments of the show. 54 Topps Henry Aaron, rookie, PSA 1. And honestly, looks pretty good. Sure, the corners are around it. Sure, there's a little crease in here. It's an old card that's been beat up, but overall, happy with the color. Centering's good enough. Pretty sweet addition to the collection, so kind of thrilled to add that. Not something, again, something I had my eye on, something I would think about, but didn't really have the expectations that I would actually grab one, so thrilled about that. And then honestly, probably my favorite pickup comes from Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Got this done, a deal done a couple months ago, I believe. And I've been looking for this forever, and you never see them. One did go up for sale just a couple weeks before the show, but it was a grade that was higher than necessary. So Rick, I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing a part of your collection, helping it be added to my collection, something I was really looking for. Something that the Home Run Derby cards, I think I saw one at the show, and it was one of the big boys. I can't remember if it was like Mantle or Mays or something, but outside of that, you just don't come across them that often. So, Rick, I absolutely appreciate you selling this to me. Thrilled to add it to the collection. Always love adding something new. And I was able to add quite a few cards from different sets I didn't have, and then some just add some stuff from around the edges of the collection. So it was overall, once again, an outstanding national. I always have so much fun checking out all these things. I mean, honestly, if the national were 2 weeks long, I'd be able to do it and not get bored because there's so many cool things to see. I mean, so many value boxes with, I'm sure, tons of great deals that I wasn't even able to touch. A lot of boxes, you kind of fly through. Was able to pick up some cool stuff. Pretty happy about that. I had a lot of fun. I wish there was more time to hang out with everyone. I wish there was more time to meet up and have meaningful conversations at the get-togethers. But we'll see. Definitely can't wait till next year. I would like to, if possible, get in early Wednesday and leave maybe Monday. I really think Sundays at the show. Early on, I skipped some or got out early. The last 2 years, I've done the full thing. I did the full thing in Cleveland, and I remember that being great. And the last two have been really, really good and enjoyable. So definitely would like to do that if at all possible going forward. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. And I guess we'll meet again next year at the National. Appreciate all your thoughts. Comment below. Let me know what you think of some of the pickups and such. And I will talk to you next time. Have a great one.